And we are back. Oh, wow. Can you believe this film is 20 years old? We just finished The Descent from 2005. This is rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 39 minutes. We watched this on the Hoopla app. Absolutely go out and support your public library. This comes to us from writer-director Neil Marshall and stars Shauna McDonald, Natalie Mendoza, Alex Reed. Who else is in this?
Saskia Mulder, Nora Jane Noon, Mayanna Burning, Alex Reed.
I don't watch this film a lot, but when I do, I am traumatized.
Yeah. It
is from start to finish. It's not a long film. It's 1 hour and 39, which is about what horror should be. And this one takes no prisoners. None. This is definitely a defining horror story of the early 2000s. And I think the other thing that really sets it apart is this mostly female-driven cast. I mean, there's a husband. He's not in the story for very long, but the interplay between these women, their relationship, how grief has shaped one of them, and how the uncovering of a secret changes the course of this particular story. Do you want to give us a brief synopsis?
Yeah. So you got Sarah and Juno and I think Beth. Those are the three in the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. They're adventurers. They like doing whitewater rafting and mountain climbing and all that other stuff. Stuff we have absolutely no interest in. Yeah. And after a whitewater rafting trip, Sarah, her husband, and her young daughter are on their way back home, and tragedy strikes. There's a car accident where her husband and daughter are killed. She wakes up in the hospital and just starts screaming, as you would expect. Now we are brought a year later, and the girls decide to get back together. They invited 3 other women with similar interests, to do a cave exploration expedition. And I don't know if they're just trying to get Sarah back into the swing of things. It's like I said, it's been a year. But Juno decides she's going to make this a bit special. And without telling anybody, she guides them to a different cave than the one that they were supposed to go to. This cave is an allegedly unexplored cave. And her goal is we're going to explore it, and then we'll be able to name the cave system. Nobody knows about this until, of course, they are trapped in the cave with no map, and nobody knows where they are. So this is when things
go horribly
wrong. Things start to break down. Basically, the fractures in their friendship start to raise their head. You see there's conflict between them. And then on top of that, they're not alone in these caves.
Yes.
There are the natives.
Yes.
And they are unpleasant.
This does not rely on CG.
No, everything in this movie is practical. The sets are practical. The creatures are practical.
I think you sent me something and it said that they created these caves, right?
Yeah. Apparently all the interior caves were created in studio, so this way the cameras could operate and you'd have this realistic look, and they could still film everybody, because apparently filming in a real cave system would have just been too dangerous, and they wouldn't have been able to get the shots that they were able to get. And the film looks gorgeous, so you would not know. You would absolutely not know this was not a real cave system. I still don't understand why people do this sort of thing. I've watched YouTube videos of people doing it, and I'm just like, well, God, what is wrong with you? I mean, I realize that in real life, nobody's probably going to encounter savage mutant cannibals or whatever. But even still, you can keep that.
Yeah.
As soon as I go outside and if some sort of huge centipede is crawling on me,
yeah, I'm like,
I'm
what? Done for the day.
I've had my full of nature. I'm going home. I'm going to sit on my couch and watch TV now.
Yeah, I only like nature in pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you alluded to the things in the caves. They are so freaking creepy. Yeah. Oh my God.
And I love how how everything is filmed, because you just get glimpses of them in the beginning.
You're not really sure that you're seeing what you're seeing.
You're not really sure what you're seeing, because there's a shot where Sarah is sort of looking up at the cave ceiling and all the little ledges and whatnot, and she passes by, and then she brings the camera back, and if you weren't paying attention, you'll You'd miss that something that was there the first time she saw it was not there the second. And then later on, you just see like these sort of like deep shots into the darkness, and they'll pan a light and you'll just see some skinny gaunt thing there, and then it'll sort of disappear. It's very good. And then when it finally happens, when everything just explodes, it's just sort of like, oh my God.
These things are terrifying. Whoever did the the makeup work did an outstanding job. And I think while we were watching the film, it's kind of funny because we have seen this before. I actually saw this maybe a year or so ago for Wednesday Night Film Discussion Group, and it still just like puts my stomach in a pretzel. And it's funny because, again, I've seen this. I know what's going to happen, and yet I am so caught up in the tsunami of the story that it doesn't matter. I know what's going to happen, and yet I'm still just like, oh my God, what is going on?
Agreed. Yeah, this film, it holds up to repeat viewings. Just everything, just the way, like I said, the way it's filmed.
Very claustrophobic,
close-ups. Plus, they're in a cave.
Caves.
There are several parts where they are literally crawling through tunnels that barely fit their bodies.
Yeah.
And there's even a point where right before they become trapped, that is a major concern because Sarah basically has a panic attack as she's crawling through one of these things, and her friend helps her get out of it. But
just in time.
But yeah, they pulls her out just in time as the cave that it's not even really a cave, it's a little worm tunnel that they're crawling through just collapses.
Yeah.
And then you're dealing with the fact that people are getting hurt.
Holly
is a moron and decides, I see light, I'm going to run now. And running through the darkness, she ends up breaking her leg horrifically. Yeah, there's something about leg injuries where the bone is coming through.
Let's not discuss it, please. I don't need to remember that scene.
Yeah.
I think I put my hand in front of my eyes.
For a while, you were like, is it
over?
Safe to look? Is it safe to look?
Is it over?
I was like, nope, not yet. We're lingering. Well, they're definitely milking that prosthetic for all it was worth.
Group of women, it should be nurturing, but it's kind of not.
It falls apart quickly. When things get dangerous, you see, okay, it's no longer about, hey, all right, women supporting women, girl power.
Yeah.
It's just, what the fuck did you do? This is your ego trip. And she's like, no, it's not about me. I was doing it for Sarah. And it's just like.
Even Sarah turns to her at one point and is like, I wonder if you did this for me or yourself.
Yeah. No, and for me, it's clear it was for herself.
For Juno.
Juno was about Juno. Yeah. You could just see in the way her character carries herself. She's got the Indiana Jones hat. As soon as she puts that on, I was just like, oh, this person's an egomaniac.
Yeah, for sure. But then there's something revealed about Sarah, too. I mean, not Sarah, about Juno. That sort of, it's interesting because in the opening sequence, she's interacting with another character, and the way she's vibing with that character is interesting because that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
Even though no words are spoken, it tells you a lot. And then that bleeds into later in the story where something's revealed about the Juno character. Mm-hmm. And so that was interesting because, again, these women are supposed to be lifelong friends. They're there for each other. They're their support system, yada, yada, yada. And yet one of them commits the ultimate betrayal to her friend.
Yeah.
Getting back to another thing that you highlighted before, these little tunnels and the caverns, and it's just so, there's this constant sense of dread and claustrophobia throughout that portion of the film. It's funny because in the beginning it's so vast and open. The opening sequence where they're whitewater rafting, you see nature big and front and center. Well, Sarah's in her car going, I think, to the hotel with her husband and child. There's like that overview shot of the little car on the road and just going.
Just vast expanses of woods.
Yes.
Mountains in the background.
Yes. Open space, nature just encompassing this little car. And so when we move further into the story and we get into the caverns, it's interesting because now all that vastness has shrunk to this area, and they're desperately trying to get out. And one by one, each character starts to meet their demise, starting with Holly. And so it changes the dynamics of the story and the group, because now we're in this race against time to get out and get out alive. Yeah. And it's interesting because the Juno character, for all of her faults, she kind of locks in and is like, she, like in the initial kills, right, when she's trying to get that thing away from Holly.
Yeah.
She's just on autopilot, and she's just with that scythe just murdering, right? Mm-hmm. And then she turns around and she accidentally kills somebody.
Yeah.
But you see that she's not going to take the blame. And when people ask her about the other person, she just says that that person didn't make it.
Yeah.
And that's it. She doesn't go into anything else.
Well, I mean, she's clearly effed up enough.
Oh, no, sure.
Sort of like,
I'm sure she's very guilt-ridden.
Yeah.
But she's not going to admit to other people that because of her ego and stupidity that she put them in this position, she also caused the death of a dear friend.
Yeah. Now people are dying.
Right.
It's entirely her fault.
And it's, yeah. And then we see what happens with Sam and Becca, and then there were two. There's Juno and Sarah. But before,
I feel like Sarah. I mean, the story is mainly about Sarah.
Sure, it's her. And she's
from
the
what
point of view character.
Yeah, and from what I've read, from what the director has said, the whole misadventure is supposed to like mirror her own personal mental descent into madness.
Right, because of the grief of
losing her husband and her daughter. And this cave now is just sort of a metaphor for her losing her grip on her sanity. Right. And you kind of see that as things progress, she becomes more and more almost primal, especially like after just falling in that disgusting like pool of blood and offal and just coming out of it. And she is just drenched in red. Yeah. She's kind of nuts at that point.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, it's easy to see why you would descent into madness.
Yeah.
And there's a pivotal scene, I don't want to give too much away, but she's given information that changes her entire demeanor and persona in a way. She almost becomes like Ripley, an alien. She is going to get out of these fucking caves. I had no doubt in my mind at that point. But
I feel like even in the beginning, they sort of hinted that she knew what was going on. And this confirmation just sort of was like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right. I think so too, because in the car, she turns to the husband and she's like, "Is everything okay? You seem
there's a lot done with just looks."
Yeah.
In that opening sequence.
Yeah.
Just a cut to Sarah's face, her turning and looking. A cut to other characters, the way they're interacting. Help is being given when it's probably not necessary.
So I'd like to read something really quickly from the IMDb page, which I think is really interesting. It's kind of a spoiler, so if you don't want to know what it is and you haven't seen this film, turn away, turn this off. I want to absolutely say that this is one of my favorite movies, even though it puts my stomach in a pretzel. It's immensely satisfying. It is quite the journey. It is amazing storytelling, and it's gratifying, again, as a lover of the horror genre, to see something like this done so well, because women out cave diving, like, that doesn't sound interesting, but when you throw in these just hellish monsters living in these caves, they've probably been living in these caves for millennia. They come across some old hiking equipment that one of them says is about 100 years old. So,
and they've clearly been there way before that, because they've got cave drawings, like like primitive caveman style cave drawings, and
a escalator of bones. That final sequence with Sarah was like, this is nuts. Yeah. Okay, but before we continue, let me just read this really quick. So alternate versions Spoiler. The ending of the U.S. and European versions differ. In the end, Sarah wakes up at the bottom of the cave, crawls out, and makes her way back to the car. When she is driving away, she pulls over and vomits, and when she leans back into the car, she is startled by the ghost of Juno sitting in the passenger seat. The U.S. version cuts to the credits here. In the European version, this apparition causes Sarah to wake up for real at the bottom of the cave, revealing her escape to be just a dream. She then has a vision of her daughter's birthday cake, which we see is just her torch. The camera backs out, the voices of the creatures can be heard again and are increasing in strength as they are closing in on her, and the movie ends. This ending was considered too dark for U.S. audiences, which I find interesting because we love our guns in this country, so I don't feel like excessive violence is an issue for us, but what do I know?
I don't know if it's a violence. I just think it's the bleakness of it. You have that whole...
Possibly,
that whole there is a lot of Hollywood nonsense where it's just like, well, where's the happy ending?
Right. Sure.
You can't end on a bummer.
But I liked how we're watching this, and I kind of forgot about those sequences where she's sort of like daydreaming or having visions of her daughter's birthday cake splattered throughout. And I never understood it, but this explanation makes sense why those were included.
Well, I mean,
she was sense now.
As we mentioned, she is clearly losing her mind, and you see that throughout the thing because there are several parts in the film where she hears her daughter,
right, giggling
or laughing, or she has these full-blown visions where when she's unconscious, or even when she's looking around, it's just her grasp of reality is fracturing just because of the trauma that she's been through. And, I could see why there were two different endings. Like I said, sometimes people don't want to have like a downer of an ending to a film. They don't want ambiguity. I don't mind. I think I've actually seen the European version.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, somewhere, because that I do remember that. But this version that we saw today, that was clearly the U.S. one.
I mean, it doesn't take away. It's still a strong finish, I think. I think I would have liked the European version better, but that's okay. It doesn't take away from the enjoyment of the film. I think if I had to give this a number between 1 and 10, it would be somewhere between 8 and 9, so I think I'll give this an 8.5.
I'd give it an 8.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, it's very strong. It's not dialogue heavy, and yet a lot is conveyed in the sequences within the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think every character was given a decent amount of time. Nobody just felt kind of like nobody felt like cannon fodder, or just, we're here just to die.
Right. And I feel like you're invested as a viewer.
Yeah, and you get to see like how everybody just, a lot of them. The funny thing, one of the things that I noticed was the sisters. The one sister just suddenly she just starts running ahead, and it's almost, and that was the sister that was always like, "Screw Sarah, screw Juno, we got to get out of here." She was the one who was just like all out for herself, and then when it came down to it at the end, she literally runs and leaves her sister behind, and she starts trying to climb across the ceiling, and that doesn't really work out that well. So yeah, this situation really just
messed everybody up.
Everybody was just destroyed. I think maybe the only one that was like still maybe had morality was the other sister.
Beth. Oh, Becca.
Yeah. I mean, there's Beth too, but Beth, we don't really spend a lot of time with Beth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think because Becca was the one who was like, we got to go for Sarah, we got to go for Juno. And the other sister was like, wow, screw that.
Yeah.
And she was also the one who was like, she was mad at Juno because she lied to them.
Right. And she didn't bring the book.
Yeah, she didn't bring the book. She's like, how could you do this to us? This is extremely dangerous. This is so irresponsible.
Right.
And Juno's like, but we're going to be able to name it after ourselves.
So dumb.
Yeah.
I wasn't sad to see Juno get hers or hear it. You hear it. You don't see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of the things about movies. If you don't see it,
It might not have happened.
Might not have actually happened.
Yeah. All right. Again, we caught this on the Hoopla app. Absolutely go out and support your local libraries. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell us in the comments what you think. Is there a better horror film with an all-female cast? Let us know in the comments what you think. And with that, we'll wrap it up on our 19th day of our 31-day countdown to Halloween. We're almost there. We're almost there, folks. What will we do tomorrow? I don't know. You'll just have to tune back and listen and find out. And with that, we'll wrap it up and bid you all a
good night.
Good night.